කට්ටිය බලාගෙන ඉන්න ගෙවල් වල. එහෙනම් today Poaon full moon day is one of the most important day for all of us. Today we are celebrating by observing 8 precepts and 10 precepts. අදසල් ගත්තද කවුරුත්? හොඳයි. So we have a short Dharma talk now. Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Nirajasa Sunantu Saggamukhadam Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayam Badanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Atahang tittha magamang Samma sambuddho bhagava Swakhato bhagavata dhammo Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sanghoti. Today is the Poaon full moon day, which is one of the most memorable day for mostly Sri Lankans, but all other Buddhists in all parts of the world. Because Venerable Arahant Mahamahendra visited Sri Lanka and started the Dhamma in Sri Lanka, 100 years later, about that time, Tripitaka was, all the teachings of the Buddha was written down in Sri Lanka because of this amazing visit of these Dhamma messengers from India, from King Asoka to Sri Lanka. Because of that, not only Sri Lankans, but all parts of the world, people in all parts of the world was able to receive the Dhamma that was preserved last 2,500, 2,100, 2,200 years in Sri Lanka. Everywhere in the world today, even in England or America or any other place, if the Buddha's teachings were studied, the main source out of all the other sources of Buddha's teaching is the Tripitaka, that is in Pali, written in Sri Lanka. All these things happen because Venerable Mahamahendra we call, had an amazing plan to establish Buddhism in Sri Lanka. When he visited Sri Lanka, he took some disciples. He took Samanera with him, and he also took a young Upasaka. Banduku Pasaka, I think. All these are part of the plan because Buddha wanted, Arahant Mahinda wanted to establish Buddhism in Sri Lanka by ordaining people from Sri Lanka as Buddhist monks and nuns. That was the plan. And because of that reason, we remember Arahant Mahinda gave the Dhamma talk from Chulla Hatti Padopama Sutta that was taught by the Buddha during the Buddha's time in the Majjhima Nikaya. He selected Chulla Hatti Padopama Sutta. This was a very special sutra in introducing Buddha and his teachings and his practices to people who don't know too much about Buddha and his teachings and his practices. This Chullahati Padopama Sutta is so perfect to introduce Buddhism to any newcomers. It's a little story there. There was during the time of the Buddha, there was a rich Brahmin called Janusoni, a wealthy man. So his chariot is all white, white horses, white canopy, and white wheels. And that is how rich he was. Even today, if you have a beautiful white Cadillac, we know that is those days like the president would go in the huge Cadillac. So that is the type of vehicle he had. And not only that, he himself was wearing white. And one day, this day, he was going out for a drive. And when he was riding the chariot, this beautiful chariot with beautiful horses, he saw one of his friends who was a monk of that type, not a Buddhist monk, but another monk called Paribhajaka. Paribhajaka means who has left home already, has spent time in practicing whatever they knew as Dharma according to their knowledge at the time before the Buddha. But this Paribrajaka's name was Pilotika. He was not only a religious person, but he has been visiting the Buddha and learning about the Buddha gradually. But he has not become a Buddhist monk yet. He has still a Paribrajaka of the Brahmin tradition. This wealthy Brahmin, Janusoni, has some friendship with this person. And Janusoni saw that this Pilotika, the mendicant, was coming towards him when he was going the other way. So he stopped the horse chariot and asked Pilotika, just because he is friend, "Hi Pilotika, how are you? Where did you go in this day?" Then Pilotika said, "Janusoni, I went to see the Buddha, And I'm coming back from the Buddha's temple in near here. And Janusoni wanted to know who the Buddha was. Tell me about the Buddha. Why you want to see him? And the Pilotika said, "Oh, Venerable Janusoni, I am not even qualified to explain who the Buddha is. Buddha is so amazingly great. My mind is so small. How can I introduce the Buddha to you?" Then Janusoni said, "Okay, fine. You tell me whatever you think about him. I want to know who this Buddha is." And then Pilotika said, "I don't know too much, but I know he is one of the best. Or if he's not the best, he may be one of the best." And I'm sure he's the best because of these reasons. Best what? Best teacher, best Dharma teacher, best, the most enlightened person in the world. Why do you think so? Janusoni, these people, wherever Buddha visit, people in that area go to see the Buddha to test him, argue him, beat him. His knowledge, whatever he teach, he want to refute. Who are these people? Those Kshastriya Panditas. Panditas means wise people. No? They want to know if the Buddha know what is right, the Dharma, than us. So they plan to go talk to the Buddha and ask questions and defeat the Buddha. These Kshatriyas go to see the Buddha and sit in front of him, and the Buddha just normally talk to them, and he is also giving Dhamma talks, and they are listening. And all their plans, they have thought about, I am going to ask this question. If the Buddha answered this, we are going to ask this question. Then Buddha gets stuck and he won't be able to answer. He failed. So we win. That is what they do. They want to go to all the other religious people come to the area, they do that. Those Panditas, Shastriya Panditas. But when Venerable Janusoni, all these Panditas go to see the Buddha and sit in front of him, and they even forget all their questions they are going to ask. They are going to argue with the Buddha, but they cannot argue. They listen to the Buddha and they understand what the Buddha is teaching. And finally, they become disciples of the Buddha. All these Shastriya Panditas who are so smart become disciples of the Buddha, because Buddha is much more smarter than them, they understand later. And there are some Brahmanas who are Panditas. Those Brahmana Panditas also go to see the Buddha to argue with him and defeat in the debate Karanan. So then, even these Brahmana Panditas, who had planned a lot of arguments with the Buddha, forget all the arguments after listening to the Buddha, and they also become disciples. But these Brahmanas are not ordinary people, very wise, very sharp, very intelligent Brahmanas. But if they become disciples of the Buddha, I have seen it, and that is amazing to me. And then he said, there are some householders, Gahapatis, very rich, very intelligent, smart household Panditas are there. When the Buddha come to the area, they also go to argue with the Buddha and defeat the Buddha. Buddhandro Paradala Dinanda argue kala. Like Satchaka. Remember Satchaka? Satchaka went to argue with the Buddha also. And these are Gahapati Panditas. Gahapati Panditas means householders, married people, husbands. They also go to see the Buddha and sit down and listen to him. After that, they forget all their questions and all their arguments, and they also become disciples of the Buddha. And then they said, Janusoni, there are so many samanas. Samanas means monks of different traditions, not Buddhist monks, but there were 62 different religions in India at the time of the Buddha. The monks of these different religions also want to argue with the Buddha and defeat him. Buddhandro Paradala Dinala argue karla. But after they visit the Buddha, sit down in front of him, Buddha speak to them kindly and explain certain things. Before even asking any question, all their questions are answered by the Buddha in a way that they cannot refute. That is the way it happened. So all these four groups, all these Panditas go to see the Buddha to defeat the Buddha or win against the Buddha, just become disciples of the Buddha and follow the Buddha after that. And some of them become monks and some of them take refuge in the Buddha. And when I see this, I am so amazed. I can tell you about this much for sure. That means there are so many Shastriya Panditas, so many Brahmana Panditas, so many Grahapati Panditas, so many Samana Panditas. They all become disciples of the Buddha. To me, Buddha was the ultimate Pandita. This is what he is telling the Janusoni. Janusoni is still sitting in the chariot. As soon as he heard this, he came down to the chariot and took his towel from the shoulder, the shawl, and we are like Upasaka. The shoulder strap tala around the shoulder like Upasaka, and turn where the Buddha was and say, Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. He has not even seen the Buddha. Just by hearing the story of all wise people are just much more below in wisdom compared to Buddha, by hearing this, he bowed to the Buddha from that where they were talking. And then same evening, he wanted to go see the Buddha because Pilotika came from where the Buddha was and not too far he knew. And he went to see the Buddha and he told the story that he heard from Pilotika. Pilotika told me about you like this. All the Brahmana Panditas, all the Kshatriya Panditas, all the Gapati Panditas, Samana Panditas come to argue with you, but they don't even argue with you. They just become disciples by listening to you, by talking to you. And I'm so happy for you. I want to see you myself. and talk to you. Then the Buddha said, yes, Pilotika's story is good, but there's some more to it. If a elephant trainer, expert about elephants, want to find an elephant in the forest that is the biggest elephant. So he go with his group, people, to the forest to find the biggest elephant and bring it to the city and train. When he go into the city, he see a huge elephant footprint. Adiyat. This is so big. The elephant, big elephant might be nearby. But the elephant trainer think, no. This is not the biggest elephant. There are some other elephants called Kamanika. Small but big foot. They are not big foot. They have big feet, footstep, but they are not big. So this elephant is not the one we are looking. We go further into the forest. There's another big step. And he see the branches of the trees, high branches are broken. And some tree skin is broken with his tusk, elephant tusk. Then they think there must be the biggest elephant nearby here. But the main elephant trainer, head elephant trainer, think, no, there are some other elephants called Kaneruka. Their feet are big, they are fairly big, they can reach tall branches, and they have big tusks, and they can scratch the tree skin. Therefore, the big elephant is nearby, but the head elephant trainer think, no, this is not the biggest one. I shouldn't go further into the forest and I find that. And then he goes to the forest further in, and he sees the huge footprint, very big. And he sees the very tall branches are broken by the tusk, by the trunk. And then he also see tall trees struck with his tusk. Dalen gahala kadla. So now the main elephant trainer knows here is the biggest elephant. Now we look for him. And he walk around and find the biggest elephant sitting with his friends, walking around and drinking tea and eating. So he says, this is the biggest elephant in the forest, and this is the one I want to meet. So Buddha says, when you go to see a good teacher, don't get misled by ordinary teachers. They appear to be good teachers, but their knowledge, their conduct is not the perfect, the highest, the best. So when you go to see the Buddha, after meeting all these different teachers, Janusoni, Buddha is telling to Janusoni, now you know even finding a teacher is like that, finding the greatest elephant. So you go, talk to one person, learn from some teacher, and after a while, you know, this is not the best. There might be a bigger one in the much greater teacher nearby somewhere. So he keep going, and finally come to the Buddha. And evameva ko brahmana ida tathagato loke uppajjati arahang samma sambuddho vidyacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purusadhamma sarati sattadeva manussanam buddho bhagavati. Then tathagato loke uppajjati, the fully enlightened one, the Buddha, rise in the world, arahang, completely worthy, fully enlightened, samma sambuddho, vidyacharana sampanno, endowed with theory and practice, sugato, well gone, lokavidu, who knows everything in the world, top to bottom, anuttaro purusadhamma sarati, unsurpassable trainer of human being, satta deva manussana, teacher of all devas and all humans, satta deva manussana, buddho, Buddha, fully enlightened one, arise in the world. So dhamman deseti adi kalyanam majje kalyanam paryosana kalyana. This Buddha teaches the Dhamma that is perfect in the beginning, perfect in the middle, perfect in the end. When Buddha's teaching you find, there is no errors somewhere in the beginning or the middle or the end. Perfectly beautiful in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. That is the Buddha's teaching. There's no mistakes, there's no errors, there are no loopholes in the teachings of the Buddha. Satang, completely perfect meaning. Sabhyanjanang, with complete detail. Kevala paripunnang, everything is complete. Buddha does not talk halfway in one subject and stop there. No. He completely finish the whole subject, top to bottom. Anybody want to know, there's no room for asking questions because he has taught the whole thing. Kevala paripunnam. Then brahmacharyam pakaseti, practice theory, and brahmacharya means how to live the holy life. Pakaseti teaches by the Buddha. So this kind of teacher is the ultimate teacher. Only a smart person can find. So now we hear today. Now you also remember, if there is the biggest footprint in the forest, that is the elephant footprint. The biggest elephant's footprint is so big. And in the forest, you can see the footprint of the rabbit. You can see the footprint of the tiger. You can see the footprint of all different animals. But all those different footprints fit in that big footprint. Already you can include in that big footprint. This means if there is any teacher who teaches Dharma in the world, whoever it is, all those teachers' teaching fit in the Buddha's teaching. That means whatever they teach, it is already taught in the Buddha's teaching in the complete form. Recently, you heard in Sri Lanka, this one man was saying Buddha is only teaching what you do, it come back to you. But our teaching is about love. But this person doesn't know Buddha had taught about love from the beginning to the end. What is love? How many type of love is there? How many, this metta we are talking about, huh? How many type of practices you can use to improve your love? And what are the benefits of love? When you practice love, what do you get? All these things from top to bottom, every aspect of love, which is metta, is taught by the Buddha. But this person is saying that their teacher is the one who taught love, and Buddha did not taught love. Buddha only taught maybe some karma. Karma is only one little thing that Buddha taught, right? But Buddha not only taught love or metta, how to overcome love, go beyond love, and what are the differences of love, what is the difference between lust and love. I love ice cream. Is the same love? No, different. So this is a type of Dhamma that we are lucky to have as Buddhists, because Buddha's teaching is all round, complete Dharma is given to us, that any other place we cannot find such a complete form of Dharma in the universe, not only in this world, but in the whole universe. We cannot find anything, because Tathagato loke uppajjati arahang samma sambuddho. Ultimate teacher. If any teacher in there, any philosopher in this world who teaches is a footprint fit on it, all the other little teachings, little feet, little footprints fit in the huge elephant footprint. All the teachings of all other teachers can be found in the Buddha's teaching in much more detail, much more clearly, much more profound way. That is why we, as Buddhists, should be so fortunate, feel fortunate, because we have you go to a little fast food stop, restaurant. You can order one thing, maybe hamburger, maybe some French fries or something. Or if you go to another one, you can go to order something else, but only that. But if you go to the biggest buffet in the country, in the city, in biggest buffet, if you want to eat this, you can eat this. If you want to eat fish or chicken or vegetable, only vegetable, tofu, Chinese food, Western food, Asian food, Thai food, anything you want is there in that biggest buffet. So, and all the nutritions of food you can find. You can take some from here, some from there, some from there, and then you have a complete meal. So the people like us who are Buddhist, if we want to know about dukkha, problems of life, that's there. If you want to know how to solve the problems of life, it is there. If you want to know how to improve the methods of solving the problem, that is also there. If you want to know about karma, that is there. If you want to know about rebirth, that is there in complete form. Everything is complete form. If you want to know simple thing, family life, completely there. If you want to know how a young person who want to be rich and happy, what are the things you need? It's all taught in the Buddha. Vyagapadya Sutta and Singalova Sutta. All these things are taught in that sutras. So then this Chullahatti Padopama Sutta Buddha explained to the Janusonin what happened to the people who come to listen to the Buddha. They learn about life, how short the life is, how difficult the samsara is, how long the samsara is, and how unfortunate to be stuck in this search for wealth and search for fame, and how important it is to gradually get rid of all this and become light-hearted, and how important it is to let go of different things in the world that we are attached to, and how important it is to practice detachment. All these things are from the gradually. Islam, at the beginning, Buddha would teach you, this is how you become rich, and this is how you become a heavenly being with beautiful body and beautiful looks and a lot of money and a lot of houses, beautiful homes, and this is how you become. And then he says, after a while you get tired of this and you will see that this beautiful home is useless because I have so many worries and fears. Even a heavenly being is not happy. So why do I want to be a heavenly being? Even if you go to a Brahma world, what happened? In the end, you die. After a certain amount of time, every Brahma world has a lifespan. When the lifespan is over, Ayukale Gurunam, they have to leave that Brahma world. After that, you can be an animal, you can be a human being, you can be a preta, you can even go to hell. Who don't know? Because one of the old karma for this Brahma, he became a Brahma because he meditated in the past life. But in the previous life, he has done a lot of bad karma. So he could be reborn in Avicii, hell being, as a hell being. So what is the point? Then Buddha teaches, okay, that's the safe place. That is called Nibbana. You have to be detached from all these things, and finally, when you completely be free from all the attachment, your mind become totally free from all attachments, and your mind becomes so light and so pure and so beautiful, and that is called Nibbana. That is the best place. Buddha started from how to make more money as a young man, then how to be good, how to be reborn in happy places, how to be rich in the next life. And all this, and in the end, Dana kata, Sila kata, Sagga kata, Kamanang Adinavang, Kamanang Adinavang. Can Dana kata, when you practice dana, this is what happened. You go to heaven, you become rich, and you become, you have everything. But you can get sick. That is different story. You can be sick, right? Dana dunna gela. Ledevenna tuinne. Dana kata, sila kata, how you practice sila, and what is the benefit of sila. Sila make you a very good looking person. Sila make you attractive to all the people. Sila make you have so many friends wherever you go. All these things are Dana kata, Sila kata. Sagga kata, when you go to a heaven, Sagga means heaven, no? Sagga kata, when you go to heaven, you have these beautiful gardens, you have beautiful ponds and beautiful this, beautiful that. Beautiful angels, beautiful men and beautiful women you can choose. And Kamanang Adina. Then Buddha him slowly says, danger of all these attachments. Danger. They are all danger. Fire is good. You can use to cook and do other things. But if a little mistake, it burn your house. So dangerous. Kamanang Adina. Okarang Sankilesa, Nikkammecha Anisansa. Nikkammecha Anisansa. Buddha teaches. So beautiful if you will detach and be a monk or nun, gradually leave everything behind and become relaxed. Let your children take care of your property and you relax. You relax means you don't get affected by loss and gain. Monks don't have nothing to lose. So no worries about gaining and losing. Nekkhamma කියන්නේ නෛෂ්ක්‍රම්‍ය කියන්නේ මහාන වෙන එක. ආනිසංස කියන්නේ මහාන වෙන එකේ ආනිසංස. මෙන්න බලන්න කියලා අන්තිමට තමයි කියන්නේ ඒවා. එතකොට නිවන් දකින්න එකේ වටිනාකම කියලා ඉවර කරනවා බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ. එතකොට අනිත් ලෝකේ කිසිම ගුරුවරයෙක් කිසිම ශාස්ත්‍රවරයෙක් no any religious teacher can teach all these things in complete form that Buddha has very clearly laid down for us. Onam religious tradition or philosophical tradition you go to, you can find one little thing, but not the whole thing. Onam religion එක කොටසයි තියෙන්නේ. පොඩි කැලලක් තියෙනවා. ඒක that little section is taught by the Buddha in the complete form. It's a good side and the bad side and how to practice side and what are the dangers of that, and all that is included in the Buddha's teaching. So now, that is why Hattipada Upama. Hattipada Upama means footprint. Elephant footprint. All the footprints become under elephant footprint. Buduhamdurange Dharameta Yatattama Ukkoma, all the teachings that you find in anywhere in the world is in the teachings of the Buddha, elephant footprint. This is why Arahant Mahinda selected this sutra to introduce Buddhism to Sri Lanka. Menna mekai buduhamranga dharma. This is how big it is. And not only that, in the later part of the sutta, Buduhamdro is teaching how these people come to see the Buddha and gradually learn the teaching, and finally some of them want to become monks and nuns. And then how beautiful their life become. The whole sutra is talking about how these venerable monks and nuns, or even Buddhists in general, try their best not even to hurt the feelings of any being slightly, not even the slightest hurt. කිසිම විදියකට තව කෙනෙකුට බරක් නොවෙන්න ජීවත් වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා මේ monks and nuns learn and they live like that. ඒක තමයි පහසුම මෛත්‍රී වඩන එක. ඊට පස්සේ සීලය. ඊට පස්සේ විනය රකින්න. Then after that, how they calm their mind. How the mind becomes so peaceful and calm and clear. For all these people who became monks and nuns. You don't have to be a monk or nun to have peaceful mind. You can still do that, but not the way that a monk and nun can calm the mind. Taniyama in all the children and family members, keep them behind and go further. This person's life is so easier for this person. It is easier for this person to practice calmness and peace of mind than people with children and grandchildren and property and business and all the other things. That person has a much harder time calming the mind and making that mind peaceful. ඒකයි මේ සූත්‍රය කියන්නේ. So, ඒක තමයි, that is why in Sri Lanka, we say after Arhat Mahinda arrived, few years later, so many Arhats flying in Sri Lanka. They couldn't even dry the rice or බත් ටිකක් වේල ගන්න මොකද්ද? වී ටිකක් වේල ගන්න. වී වේල ගන්න බෑ මොකද රහතන් වහන්සේලා අහසෙන් යනවා කියලා. That is what they said. That many people became enlightened in Sri Lanka. When Ruanwali Saya was created, so many thousands and thousands of enlightened monks, Rahatan Mahansela Hitiya Gelgina in Sri Lanka. Because this sutra was so powerful in leading people towards Nibbana. Antimata yanakala okkoma ganna බුදුහාමුදුරන්ගේ ධර්මය. So this is a amazing sutta that is called Chulla Vibhanga Sutta that Maha Mahinda selected to teach in Sri Lanka for the first time. It's the introduction to Buddha, introduction to Dhamma, introduction to Sangha. Then this Pilotika is saying, when I saw this, that all the people become Buddha's disciples, these Panditas, I knew Samma Sambuddho Bhagava. The worthy one, the wholesome one, this fortunate one, the Buddha, is Samma Sambuddha, fully enlightened. I understood by watching them all these Panditas become disciples of the Buddha, I knew Samma Sambuddho Bhagava. Bhagyavatun Vahanse Samma Sambuddhai කියලා මට තේරුණා කියලා දැන් කියනවා. කවුද කියන්නේ? පිලෝතික කියනවා ජානුස්සෝනිට. ස්වාක්ඛාතෝ භගවතා ධම්මෝ. මම හරියටම දන්නේ ධර්මයේ දන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් මට තේරෙනවා බුදුහාමුදුරන්ගේ ධර්මයේ ස්වාක්ඛාතයි කියලා. just බැලු බැලමටම මට තේරෙනවා. ස්වාක්ඛාතෝ භගවතා ධම්මෝ. Then I look at the disciples of the Buddha, Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. මට හොඳටම කියන්න පුළුවන් භාග්‍යවතුන් වහන්සේගේ ශ්‍රාවකයෝ හරි පාරේ යන්නේ. හරි පාර කියන්නේ what is the correct path? නිවන් මඟ. නිවන් මඟට යන කට්ටිය තමයි මේ කට්ටිය කියන එක මට තේරුණා. ඒ කිව්වට පස්සේ තමයි ජානුස්සෝනේ කරත්තෙන් බැස්සේ. අස්ස කරත්තෙන් බැහැලා කුරප්පලාව අරගෙන මේ දාගත්තා. මේ උත්තරාසංගම් කාරිත්වා කියන්නේ උතුරු සළුව කරලා දාගත්තා. කරේ තියෙන එක දැන් ඔය උතුරු සළුවනේ ඔය තියෙන්නේ. නිකන් තියෙන කරේ තියෙන ලේන්ස් උතුරු සළුව කරලා දාගත්තේ අන්නේ වෙලාවේ. So now ජානුස්සෝනිගේ කතාව බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ මහින්ද හාමුදුරුවෝ තමයි රජුරවන්ටයි සිංහල මිනිස්සුන්ටයි ඉස්සල්ලාම කිව්වේ දේශනා කරේ. So this is so amazing. You can read the sutta in Sinhala or English. Sinhala පරිවර්තන කරලා තියෙනවා. Even you can read it in English. Either way, it is good. This is a wonderful day for us to discuss Chulla Attipadopama Sutta. Most important thing that you have to remember is that we say कोई आगमे दुकान ने कमाई කියලා කියනවා. That is not true. බුදුහාමුදුරන්ගේ ධර්මය 100 නම් අනිත් ඒවා 7යි 8යි 10යි 107යි 108යි 110යි. එහෙම තමයි බුදුහාමුදුරන්ගේ ධර්මය 100යි කියන්නේ ආදි කල්යාණං මජ්ජේ කල්යාණං පරියෝසాన කල්යාණං. Perfect in the beginning, perfect in the middle, perfect in the end. You cannot find that anywhere in the world. හැම එකක්ම පොඩ තියෙනවා. සීලය තියෙනවා. Sila is taught in some religion. Samadhi is taught in some religion. Saddha is taught in most religions. Nibbana, Prajna is not taught in any religion. බුදුහාමුදුරන් ධර්මයි සීල සමාධි ප්‍රඥා. සද්ධා සීල සමාධි ප්‍රඥා ඔක්කොම තියෙන්නේ බුදුහාමුදුරන්ගේ ධර්මයේ. ඒ නිසා උඹලා මේ ධර්මය හොඳට ඉගෙන ගනින්න කියලා තමයි මහින්ද හාමුදුරුවෝ කිව්වේ. අපේ අරහත් මහින්ද මහරහතන් වහන්සේ ලංකාවේ මිනිසුන්ට. ඒක තමයි ලංකාවේ මුලටම බැස්සේ උදටම මුල් බැස්සේ ධර්මය. ඉතින් බාණ්ඩ අරහත් මහින්ද had so much planning how to establish Buddhism in Sri Lanka. මේකම ඉගෙන ගත්තා නම් මේ සූත්‍රය හොඳට කටපාඩම් කරලා ඉගෙන ගත්තා නම් නැත්නම් තේරුම ඉගෙන ගත්තා නම් this itself make you an amazing person all the way to Nibbana. නිවන් දකින තාක් ඉදිරියට අරගෙන යනවා මේ සූත්‍රය විතරක්. ඒ නිසා අද දවසේ today we have to be grateful for being able to observe 8 precepts and 10 precepts, and we have some people here at the temple who observe all 10 precepts. No? What 10 precepts? Ajit? Huh? Yeah, we did. 10 precepts, yeah. Next time 10 precepts. 8 precepts is for children. It's good. Now you are grown up and you are settled down, and 10 precepts is perfect. Neither. Eh? 10 පස්සේ තියෙනනේ ආජීව අෂ්ටමක සීලය තියෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ තව තියෙනවා සාමණේර දස සීලය. ඊට පස්සේ ඉතින් උපසම්පදා සීලය. නේ? Ajiva Ashtamaka Sila is very good too, because you can practice Ashtamaka Sila every day. ඒකට ඇතුල් වෙන්නේ පංචශීලයයි මුසාවාදා පිසුනා වාචා පරුසා වාචා සම්පප්පලාප කාමස් මිත්‍යාචාර තියෙනවා සුරාමේරේ නැහැ බේත් වලට එහෙම බොන්න වෙනවනේ කසාය නෙමෙයි මොනවාද අරිෂ්ඨ එහෙම බොන්න වෙනවනේ then hari other today all of you should be feel fortunate for being able to listen to the Dhamma and observe Sil on this Poaon full moon day. By doing so, we generate so much positive energy for ourselves. And let us share with Devas this merit thinking. By the power of the merit, may all those Devas be happy and joyful. And finally, in return, may they also help us and take care of us in every possible way for our safety and security. With all these thoughts in our mind, let us recite the Gatha. Akasatta Bummata. Akasatta Bummata Devanaga Mahidika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkantu Loka Sasanang Akasatta Bummata Devanaga Mahidika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkantu Desanang Akasatta Bummata Devanaga Mahidika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkantu Parang. Let us also share the merit with all our deceased family members and relatives and friends. Our parents are the one who guided us for this direction, and let us think of all of them and wish them well by reciting Imina Idamme Nyati Nanghut. Damme Nyati Nanghutu Sukita Huntu Nyatayo Idamme Nyati Nanghutu Sukita Huntu Nyatayo Idamme Nyati Nanghutu Sukita Huntu Nyatayo Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Then we took a break already, so therefore we can sit in meditation for a few minutes. Buddha Puja 15 minutes, meditate. And then everyone, keep your back straight. Pita Kelintiagano. ඊළඟට S2 බොහෝම පහසුවෙන් වහගන්න ඕන not too tight. Now we have to relax all our limbs, our legs and all different parts of the body. We relax. Just like we don't have any life in the hand or බොහොම ලේසියට හෙලවෙන තත්ත්වයට පත් කරගත්තාම bring it not too tight, very light and relax. Take a deep breath or two. We can look at the breath at 2 or 3 places. One place is when the air touches the nose. Air is going in to our lungs. air is coming out of the lungs and it touch our tip of the nose, you can focus on the tip of the nose. The other place, you can look at the chest, expansion and contraction. පපුව ඉහළ පාල යනවා දකලා ඒකෙන් හුස්ම බලන්න පුළුවන්. You can also pay attention to your stomach area or diaphragm area. You can watch the breath. But most meditation teachers suggest you tip of the nose is a effective way to pay attention to the breath. Because it is more focused. Chest area is too wide, stomach area is too wide, tip of the nose is too well focused, narrow, pointed object. Breathing in, you can feel the air. Breathing out, you can feel the air. Sometimes it is a deep breath, long breath. Sometimes it is a short breath. කෙටි හුස්ම. If your mind go to a different object, start thinking about something else, you recognize that, oh, my mind is running around and I want to bring it back to my tip of the nose. So you bring it like that. And when you keep doing this, after a while, your mind will not run around too much. Your mind stay focused on the object, which is the tip of the nose. Breathing in and breathing out. Mindfully, I am breathing in. Mindfully, I am breathing out. With total awareness, I am breathing in. With total awareness of the breath, I am breathing out. Ana, apana. Breathing in, breathing out. Sati, sihiya or mindfulness. සිහියෙන් හුස්ම ගැනීම සහ සිහියෙන් හුස්ම පිට කිරීම. Mindfully breathing in, mindfully breathing out. If the mind is roaming around, quickly bring it back. Dukkha patta ca nidukkha, bhaya patta ca nibbaya, soka patta ca nitsoka, hontu sabbe pipanino. Dukkhapatta cha nidukkha, bhayapatta cha nibbhaya, sukhapatta cha nisukha, untu sabbe pipaninu. Dukkhapatta cha nidukkha, bhayapatta cha nibbhaya, sukhapatta cha nisukha, untu sabbe pipaninu. Sadhu, 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 sadhu. Then Buddha Puja laga yogi villa. Now we will have the Buddha Puja soon. And after that, 1:15 we meet again. No? Venerable Shanta's Dhamma talk in Sinhala. Pay it in. Bhagava Araham Samma Sambuddho Vidyacharana Sampanno Sugato Kavidu Anuttaro Purisadam Sakati Ratta Deva Iti piso bhagava araham samma sambuddho vidyam sampanno sugato kavidu anuttara siddham sakati ratta deva Iti piso bhagava
Ademam sampastam buddho vijayachari sampam sudato anantaro buddhisatam vasapati sattva deva manusana buddho bhagavati.
Anjivani, Poaon Poya පිළිගත්තාට මහත් සංඝයාට දානේ ප්‍රකාශ කළේ අම්මාගේ නිරෝධිතාය සැලසේවා කියලා හිතාගෙන ඉඳලා නේ. නිසා මේ වගේම මලගේ සිංහාපෙන්ට දෙන්නේ මේ අපගේ පිළිගු පියාණන්සේ මේ මල් පහන් සොයන විලම්පස්ස ආහාර පාන පූජා කරන පූජා වේවා කියලා අපි එකම ගාතේ කරන්නේ.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Tipiso bhagavata arahato samma sambuddho. Vijayachari sampanno sugato lokavido anantaro purisadam vasadati sattva deva manusana buddho bhagavati swakato bhagavata dhammo Samdikiko akaliko ehi pasiko opanaiko pachattam veditavvo vinyo iti supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Sāmīci patipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho Yadidam cakkhāti purisa yugāti artha purisa pukkala Esa bhagavato sāvaka sangho Aguneyo paguneyo dakhineyo anjali karaniyo Kalam punyakirtam lokasati Vandami cediyam sabbam sabbakani supakirtitam Saririka dhatu mahanuddhim buddha rupam sakalam sada Yasamuve nisikhoba sabbari vijayataka Patto sabbanyakam sattva vandetam bodhipadakam Nime ete mahabodhi lokanatena pujita Ampite namassami bodhiraja namastute Ganasarakaditena nivena samadansina Tirokadipam sambuddham pujayami tamodam Sugandhikaya padanam ananta gunagantina Sugandhina angantena pujayami tathagatam Vannagante gunopetam vetam kusuma santasi Pujayami munindassa siripada sarunure Pujayami buddham kusumena nena Punyena nena jamotu mokkam Upang Vilaya Tiraprakritame Ayo Tataya Sivinasupam Adivaste Lunotante Vaniya Parikampitam Antam Pangupadaya Patigantatu Bhaktana Adivasi Sunobante Bhojanam Parikampitam Pangupadaya Patigantatu Bhaktana Adivasi Sunobante Gilana Pachayam Imam Anukampam Nupadam Patigantatu Bhaktana Karena Vacham Siddhena Pamadena Vajram Kalvi Bhante Buri Panya Tathagata
පෙසිල්ගත් හැම දිනාටම ඒ වගේම දානය සකස් කරගෙන මේ මහා සංඝයාටත් සිත්පිරිසටත් දානය දීම සඳහා සූදානම් කළා වූ සංජීවනීගේ මෑණියන්ගේ නිරෝගීතාවය සඳහාත් ඒ වගේම තමන්ගේ දරුවාගේ දියුණුව සඳහාත් මෙයාගේ ආරක්ෂාව සඳහා ත්‍රිසූත්‍ර කීපයක් දේශනා කරනවා මේ ත්‍රිසූත්‍ර බලයෙන් අපිට සියලු ආරක්ෂාව සැලසේවා අප කරන කෙනෙකුට සියලු සාර්ථක වේවා හැම දිනාටම සෞභාග්‍ය උදා වේවා කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා නමෝ
තස්සේ භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්සේ නමෝ තස්සේ භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්සේ නමෝ තස්සේ භගවතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්සේ කුසලේන යන්තං සන්තං පදං අபிසමෙච්ච සක්ඛෝ ජුච සුජුච සුවචෝ චස්ස මුදු අනතිමානි සන්තුස්සකෝ ච සුබරෝ ච අප්‍රකිච්ඡෝ ච සල්ලෞකෞක්ති සම්තින්ද්‍රියෝ ච නිපකෝ ච අප්‍රගම්මෝ කුලේසු අනනුගිද්දෝ අචකුද්දං සමාචරේ කිංචියේන විඤ්ඤෝ පරේ උපවදෙය්‍යං සුඛිනෝ වාකේ මිනෝ සබ්බේ සත්තා භවන්තු සුඛි සත්තා ඒකේති පාන භූතත්ති තසවදාවරම අනවසේසා දීඝව හේමහන්තව භක්තිමාරස්තකාන කතුලා දිට්ඨං වායේව අත්තිත්තා ඒච දුරේ වසන්ති අවිදුරේ භූතාව සම්භවේසීවා සබ්බේ සත්තං භවන්තු සුඛි සත්තාන පරෝ පරන්ති කුබ්බේත නාතිමන්නේත පංචි ව්‍යාරෝසනා පටිග සංඥා නාඤ්ඤමඤ්ඤස්ස දුක්ඛමෙච්ඡේය මාතායතානියං පුත්තං ආයුසා ඒක පුත්‍ර මනුරක්ඛේ එවං පිසබ්බ භූතේසු මාන සම්භාවයේ අපරිමාණං මෙත්තං ච සබ්බ ලෝකස්මින් ඥාන සම්භාවයේ අපරිමාණං බුද්ධං අදෝච තිරියංච අසම්පාදං අවේරං අසපත්තං තිත්තං චරන් නිසින්නෝ වාසයන්තු යාවතස්ස විගත මිච්ඡෝ ඒතං සතින් අදිත්තේය බ්‍රහ්මනේතං විහාර ඉදමාහු දෙක්ඛෙන්ච අනුපගම්ම සීලවා දස්සනේන සම්පන්නෝ විනය්‍යගෙන ධම්මයි ජාතු ගබ්බසෙයං පුනරේති ඒකේන සච්ච වච්චේන සොත්තිතෙන් හෝතු සම්පදා ඒතේන සච්ච වච්චේන සොත්තිතෙන් හෝතු සම්පදා ඒතේන සච්ච වච්චේන Suttite hotu sampeda udetayan cakkuma eka raja harissavanno patavippabasu tantan namassami harissavan patavippabasan tayajya gutta vihare mudivasang ye brahmana vedagu sappadamme Namo te mampadayantu namattu buddhana namattu buddhiya namo vimuttana namo vimutthiya Sumparitang katva mulu charati esana abhecayam cakkuma ekaraja harissavanno Tantan namasami harissavanam patavippabasan tayajjigutta vihare muratting brahmana vedagu sappadamme devi namate chamampalayantu Buddhanam namattu buddhiya namo vimuttanam namo vimuttiya imanso parittam kattva muru vasana kappaiti etena satya vajjena bhayamu kamentu te etena satya vajjena bhayamu Etena satya vajjena bhayamu prasamintu te virupakke mettam mettam verapate chabya putte mettam mettam kanha gotamake ampadake mettam mettam dipadake rasupade Mettam baupadehi me amang tapadako inti mamang inti dipadako mamang catupado inti mamang Baupado sabbe satta sabbe pana sabbe bhuta chakevela sabbe bhadrani passantu ma kanchi papamagama appamano buddho appamano dhammo appamano sangho Siring sapani ayurvechika satepadiunnana bhi sarvumasika tatami rakha patani paritta patikkamantu bhutani sohan namo bhagavato namo sattannam samma sambuddhananti etena satyavajjena Vayamupasamintu te etena satyavajjena Vayamupasamintu te etena satyavajjena Vayamupasamintu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba buddhani bhavena sada sutti bhavantu te bhavatu Sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena Sutti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te nakkatrayakka bhutani Papagani varna parittasanubhavena antute sanupadave sabbe buddha balapatta vacchekananchayam balam arhantanancha tejena rak bandhami sabbaso
අපේගේ තිලෝගුරු බුදුපියාණන් වහන්සේගේ නවරාජී බුදුගුණයෙන් යුක්ත බුදුගුණයන්ට බුදු පූජා පැවැත්වීමෙන් මල් පහන් සුවඳම් ළම්පත ආහාර පාන බුදු පූජා පැවැත්වීමෙන් ගාථා කීමෙන් ඒ වගේම පිරිත් ඇසීමෙන් බණ ධර්මානුකූලව ජීවත් වීමෙන් ආදී හැම ආකාරයකින්ම සිද්ධ කරගත්තා වූ සියලුම විශේෂයෙන් මේ හැම දෙනාගේම නමින් නැසීමේ පරිලෝකියත් ඒ වගේම සංජීවනීගේ පියාණන් වහන්සේ ඇතුළු මළගිය ඥාතීන් හැම දෙනාටම මේ පින්වත් අත්වල ඒ සිකී සුවපත්භාවයට පත්වෙත්වා අවසානයේ උතුම් වුණා සර්ව සාක්ෂාත් කරගනිත්වා කියලා ධම්මේ ඥාතීන්
ඉදම්මේ ඥාතිරෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ත්‍රිලෝ ඥාතිරං හෝතු සුඛිතා ඥාතයෝ ඉදම්මේ ඥාතිරං සුඛිතා
गेम में पिन उपदेश श्री विष्णु भद्रगुरु समन्वय महाबल संपन्न देव देवता महासेलाट सेवा गेम में विहार स्थान का दिग्गज से ज्ञानी को शिव देव देवता महासेलाट अनुमोदन अनुमोदन व्यक्त ये पिन अनुमोदन में संतोष भाव पत्ना हुए शिव देव देवता महासेला विशेष संजीवनी के मैनियन के निरोगिता संदहा बेलविन करता है वागे मदरवागे के नहीं पते फिर वागे में वसील करता है कि हम दिन आगे में आरक्षा हम किन में साथ वासना मंत करके नहीं संदा ये देव देवताओं में से लागे बेल मुपकार नोडु आप लगा दित्वा मन से लात पकड़ना बोले कि न तुम मुनिवन सत्म साथ साथ करके नहीं तो गलत है नेता होता है
Ekavatacinam me sampradam punya sampradam sampeva anumodantu sampa sampatti siddhya ekavatacinam me sampradam punya sampradam sampeva sampa sampatti siddhya ekavatacinam me sampradam punya sampradam अनुमोदन्तु सर्व संपत्ति सिद्धिया
संसारे जीवसुरता कल अपने कादा पाप मित्र सेवने सिद्धनोवेवा मतलब कल्याण मित्र सेवने हम दामा प्रसिद्ध वेवा करेतागन गाता ज्ञाने विना पुण्य कम
विना पुण्य कम्मेन मामे बाल समादमो समादमो भवतु यामनिब्बान पत्तिया विना पुण्य कम्मेन मामे बाल समादमो समादमो भवतु यामनिब्बान पत्तिया विना पुण्य कम्मेन मामे बाल समादमो यामनिब्बान पत्तिया
dan kan sanjay lagi
udah betul
ඒක තමයි දැන් වයස කරනකොට Okay, we discontinue the streaming and we will meet you again at 1:15. No? Thank you very much.